Hi, I'm Alma. In this short film, I'll walk you through how the mortgage industry actually works, where the money comes from, who the major players are, and how they all fit together. By the end, you'll have a much clearer picture of what's really happening behind the scenes every time someone takes out a loan to buy a home. Hey, I'm Alma. You want to buy a house? Great. But have you ever stopped to wonder, where does the money for your mortgage actually come from? Who provides it and why? And what happens to your loan after you sign those papers and get the keys? Where does it go? Who owns it? And why sometimes, even when modifying your loan makes perfect financial sense, the answer is still no. These are questions most homebuyers never think to ask until it's too late. The mortgage industry runs on rules most people never see. A vast, invisible machine that moves trillions of dollars, connecting investors to kitchen tables across America.
We made this film to pull back the curtain. Watch it. It will change the way you think about your mortgage forever.
So, Roo, can you explain how this invisible machine works behind the scenes so that you or I could get a loan to buy a house?
Sure. Alma, I'd be glad to. Imagine a fictional company called Greensboro Financial Network. It goes to the market and borrows, just for the sake of this example, $2 billion from some Wall Street firm like Goldman Sachs or BlackRock. It then splits that money into individual residential loans, let's say 2,000 of them, and issues those loans to approved borrowers. Those borrowers then go out and buy themselves homes.
Great, so does that mean my loan would be with Greensboro Financial Network?
Not exactly, Alma. Remember that $2 billion was borrowed and needs to be paid back. As borrowers start making their monthly payments, Greensboro Financial Network collects them. That's the cash flow generated by those properties. It then channels that cash flow into a legal trust, often called a special purpose vehicle. From there, the financial wizards at Greensboro Financial Network split the total cash flow into individual securities called mortgage-backed securities, or MBSs.
Roo, very interesting. So what happens next?
Next, Greensboro Financial Network sells those securities on the open market to investors. It uses that money to pay back what it borrowed from the Wall Street firms and keeps a slice of the profit as compensation for its work. It also hires a servicer, typically a large financial company like Wells Fargo, to collect monthly payments and deal with the borrowers directly. After that, Greensboro Financial Network is essentially out of the picture.
Roo, does that mean all residential loans are created this way?
Not exactly. Alma, this is not the only way the machinery works. Sometimes the originating company like Greensboro Financial Network keeps some of the loans on its own books. Another path is when loans conform to agency standards, they can be sold directly to agencies like Fannie Mae. The agency then repackages them and sells them to investors as agency MBS. But that is a whole different story. We can save it for another episode.
Roo, this is fascinating. Thank you so much. I still have one last question I can't quite wrap my head around. If a borrower gets into trouble, why can't their loan just be modified? Why won't the bank work with them? It seems like it would make much more sense to modify the loan and keep people in their homes rather than going straight to foreclosure.
Great question, Alma. Remember, loans could be transferred into a special purpose vehicle, essentially a trust. That trust agreement specifies whether modifications are allowed and how many per year. So when a homeowner asks for help, the servicer may be legally bound by that trust language and simply unable to modify the loan, even if it would make more sense to do so, leaving foreclosure as the only option.
Hello, I am Vladimir. What sets me apart is not just my knowledge of the local market, it's my deep understanding of how the mortgage industry works. From how loans are originated to why some can't be modified, I speak the language of both real estate and finance. That knowledge is your advantage, helping you make smarter decisions and avoid costly surprises from your first showing to closing day. Let's find you the right home at the right price with the right financing. Reach out today.